electronic platforms which have been created become very important. NSIC has also started a sector. Recently established a central intelligence network, basically to gather information from across the world, within the country as well as from other parts of the country, of the world, so that this information is collated and is being made available to the entire sector across the country, whether it is in terms of existing market share, whether the branding and quality of products is concerned, whether the import substitution is concerned, or in terms of the information about tendering or goods which are competing against the foreign supplies. All this information will be made available through that sector. There is a strong need for networking. There is a strong need for networking amongst the associations, among the clusters in the country, so that this networking can help spreading and sharing the information network. And this could be very useful for the MSME sector to tap to the existing market which already exists within the country. Now, there is another element as far as the export market is concerned. Export market, when we look at the export share, we only look at the direct exports that we are taking place. Direct exports means the goods which are going out of the country, because that is the way it is considered to be saving the foreign exchange. We don't look at the import substitution. A large amount of import which is taking place from other countries. Well, that is an opportunity for the MSME sector within the country. And what is the reasons why are we not able to do the substitution? The factors which are responsible for this, whether it is China or other countries which are dumping the materials. Because of the not very big reasons. It's only in terms of the pricing and quality, which we have seen. We have seen in China also, by way of taking some delegations, as to what are the reasons, why are they able to improve upon their pricing as far as Indian prices are concerned, and why are they able to dump the material to India, which we are not able to compete with. We found it is not the technology which is helping them. The technology is as primitive as we also have in India. It is the practices, it is the manufacturing processes and the practices which are mainly giving them an edge, and that is an opportunity which we have to tap to improve our competitiveness in terms of import substitution, to improve our export foreign exchange savings, and improve the share for the Coming back to the issue of opportunities in terms of supply factors. Supply side, we have seen that there have been constraints in terms of supply chain management. There have been constraints in terms of capacity. There have been constraints in terms of quality. Well, we have implemented a program. The government has also come forward various schemes, whether it is lean manufacturing program, Secretary Program mentioned in the morning, or it is technology upgradation assistance which is being provided by the Government of India under a capital subsidy scheme. They are meant for improving the productivity as well as the quality of the products, which MSME sector can take advantage of and improve its competitiveness by improving the quality of its products. The issue of supply chain that I was talking about becomes very important here. Now, MSME sector also has an opportunity of branding their products and then forming consortia. The constraints in terms of the quantities, the constraints in terms of bidding for the big orders because of lack of quantities, lack of economies of scale, and that is how not being able to compete with the bigger companies and the imports. That is another opportunity for the MSME sector as far as the supply side is concerned. That is another area where MSME sector can get advantage by improving its capacity. Well, the other demand from government sector, you know that the government had reserved 358 items earlier for exclusive purchases from the MSMEs. Now that policy has been working for quite some time, and but when we see the overall purchases from the sector is negligible, is very less, because as per an estimate which we have got the feedback, a total amount of 170,000 crores is the annual purchases by the government and public sector companies. 1,70,000 crores per annum. And what is the purchases share from the MSMEs? Is much less than 10%. I would not say, it is around 5 to 6% as of today. So see the opportunity available. Now, the defense, the annual purchases itself, if you see, annual budget of the defense is about 1,40,000 crore, and almost 40% goes for capital equipment, purchases for capital equipment, which is almost entirely imported. That is an area, and now the defense purchases are being opened up under the arrangement with the big corporates and with the foreign suppliers. The arrangement for what do you call as set-off arrangement. The opportunities with the Indian MSME sector is quite opening up substantially. Let me read the provisions for your benefit. It will not take much time. India's defense spending has grown manifold as defense budget has gone up to rupees 1,420 billion, almost 1,42,000 crore in 2009-10, and out of which 40% relates to capital expenditure. India currently procures approximately 70% of its equipment needs from abroad. Being one of the largest importer of defense equipment in the world, India needs to leverage its buying power and use offset arrangements to expand the domestic defense industrial base through foreign investments and technology transfer. Now, in this connection, governments aim to reverse this balance and manufacture 70% or more of its defense equipment needs in India. The revised defense procurement procedure, DPP 2009, allows issue of request for proposals, RFPs, to Indian industries having required financial and technical capabilities to absorb technologies and undertake indigenous procurement under a new category, buy and make, that is buy and make of Indian products. This offset arrangement will help Indian MSMEs in upgradation of their technology levels, substantially increase in both domestic production and export capabilities, and create more local employment in the country. Consortia formation of MSME units would certainly help the defense to reduce its dependency on imports. Now, the offset policy is really an advantage and also an opportunity for the MSME sector to enhance and to scale up its operations by improving its productivity as well as quality. Now, what are the advantages of this policy for the MSMEs? Global defense industry not being perfectly competitive and also oligopolistic in nature, the price determination is based on relative strengths of buyer and seller. In this scenario, countries tend to extract for themselves the best term of contract. Offset will promote competitiveness in domestic defense industry as products and services have to match both international quality and prices. Offset also fill in the gaps in domestic investment apart from helping rapid technology development. Offset not only improves the viability of domestic industry, particularly MSMEs, it also promotes self-reliance for the country. Now these are the benefits and the opportunities as far as the defense sector is concerned, which is certainly giving an edge to the MSMEs because of the recent policy changes which Government of India has introduced. Let me also give you some more information about which indicate the possibilities of and the opportunities for the MSMEs to improve. As I mentioned, the one other department, the annual purchases by railways is around 15,000 crore, out of which the share of MSME units is about 3,000 crores. Now, DGS&D is another department which is procuring more than 20% of its annual procurement from MSMEs. During the year 2009-10, out of the total annual procurement of 6,540 crores, the purchases from MSME sector was around 2,133 crores, which is 32% of its total procurement. So here is a area where the MSMEs are doing very well and they are able to prove their capabilities and strength. What I say is that when DGS&D can vouch for the capacities and the competence of the MSME units, and DGS&D itself is buying more than 20%, that's about 30% from the MSME sector. Where is the problem with other government departments, whether it is defense or other organizations? So, this gap needs to be bridged, and here is an opportunity. In USA, as you may be aware, the Small Business Administration ensures compliance of the legislated minimum procurement of almost 23% from small businesses. I think maybe the issue of a policy being framed for the minimum percentage being laid under the government procurement policy may have been discussed in the morning session, I am not sure, but there is a policy in the offing where the government procurement will become, from the MSME sector, become mandatory to a certain extent. The proposal is under consideration of the government, and that is an opportunity. But at the same time, I would caution that government should not be forced to buy a minimum percentage from the MSME sector. We have to really prove that we are worthy of this. Even if there is no percentage, you should be able to convince the buying department. As MSME, we should not be asking for concession in terms of the pricing and the quality is concerned. I remember there is a policy earlier where it says that the units registered with National Small Industries Corporation for supplies to the government departments will get a price premium. But do you think, is there a time now in the liberalized economy where we have to compete with the world economy for giving a price preference over the prices of the large or medium industries in terms of the government procurement? I think the case becomes a little weaker as far as this is concerned. But at the same time, we have a genuine cause for supporting the MSMEs. So some kind of minimum percentage or a allocation of certain targets is a requirement, which of course the government is considering. So these are some of the opportunities which are emerging, and although the sector has grown to be very strong, but these opportunities will further give an edge to the MSME sector, and I am sure that these opportunities will certainly be taken advantage of by the sector. So we have distinguished panel of speakers today. We have 5 distinguished panelists, and depending upon the time available, I think if you agree, all of you, we can have 10 minutes for each panel, and maybe at the end of the panel discussion we can have 10 minutes for our 10-15 minutes for our question answer, because we are already behind schedule. So let me start with the first speaker on the list.